welcome to Forbidden Planet TV Live. I'm Andrew Sumner, and I'm here with one of Forbidden Planet's favourite authors, one, the only, Adam Simcox.
How you doing, mate? It's good to see you.
Great to see you again, mate. How are you?
I'm very well. It's been an amazing day. It's an intense experience, Comic Con.
Well, it really is, isn't it? Particularly if you were waiting for signing with Adam Simcox, because the queue was all the way around the booth. It was absolutely extreme.
I would love to take all the credit for that. I think Jonathan Sims, who is next to me, has got to take a large degree of credit. They went crazy for that guy.
Well, all I can tell you is, when I walked past, everybody was stacking up to get you to sign your books.
Thanks.
So what can you tell me about your latest? We had a long chat for Forbidden Planet TV. Tell us about the whole thing.
The second book in the Dying Squad series, which is this
the amazing Dying Squad series,
is about Joe Lazarus. He has to catch a serial killer in Manchester called the Generation Killer, who murders the youngest member of the family and the oldest. Yeah. So it's sort of a little bit of Seven, a little bit of Heat, a serial killer hunt.
What a wonderful concept! And what's the second book called?
The Generation Killer.
The Generation Killer. What a great! How did that come to you?
I wanted to do something serial killing for a long time, and it was just about finding a new way of doing it that you hadn't read 100 times before. Yeah. And I'm a child of the 90s, and I love my 90s films, so there's a big influence of that in there, particularly Seven and Heat.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, you can't go wrong with
they're the benchmark.
Inspirations like that. But the Dying Squad, that ongoing series, the Dying Squad, initially your trilogy, I guess, Dying Squad, it's such a great concept. And can you just investigate it? Where did that come to you from?
Well, it always sounds like BS when I say it, but it was actually a dream. I dreamt the opening chapter of this detective who finds his own dead body in a farm, and the whole thing kind of blossomed from there. And so I see it as it's a crime series, but with supernatural trapping. So like the bodywork is fantasy / urban fantasy, but the engine is crime. That's what drives the books.
And that dream, when you had it, was it a pleasant experience? Was it a nightmarish, night terrors kind of deal?
Great. No one's asked me that question before. It wasn't unpleasant. It was pleasant in when I woke up and thought, man, that's a good idea. That's like the detective has to solve his own murder. That's a good hook. It's a good elevator pitch. So I let it percolate. I wrote down the basics of the dream, and then a month later started writing.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I asked is because I suffer, as my daughter who works for Forbidden Planet will tell you, I suffer from night terrors. I often wake up screaming. Yeah. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's something on my conscience. Who knows? But I had a non-night terror dream the other night, which is very vivid, and I had somehow developed the ability to fly. And I'm not one of those people who's ever had a flying dream, but I was flying around New York City with the comic book artist Christian Wood in the classic Lois Lane position. I don't know what that means, but Christian Wood is a big, hefty dude like myself, but with a full beard. Where I was going with that.
That's a Freudian dream, that one. It's an absolute therapist dream.
I don't even want to think about it. See, you get an amazing series of best-selling and critically received books out of your dreams, and I'm left with flying Christian Wood around New York.
I'm getting the better end of the deal. There's no doubt about that.
That's so true. One of the many things I love about the Dying Squad universe is your lead character, and just his name alone, so brilliant. Where did that? I mean, I can see the causal link, but where did it come to you from?
It was a little bit of a jokey wink of the eye to the readers in Lazarus back from the dead. It's not a subtle hint, but that's kind of the point. I like a little bit of sort of in-your-face obviousness to these things, as long as you've got enough subtlety and humour in with it as well.
Yeah. I mean, just that's the beauty of the golden age of detective television in America. Naming the character is the key, right? Once you've got the name, it's a big part of it. I think it's a wonderfully sort of evocative conceit, but it works so brilliantly, mate.
Cheers, yeah, and it's funny because Joe is the main character, but I never think of him as the main character. So Daisy May, his sidekick, to me, she's the fun one to write, and I couldn't imagine doing these books without her. So she, to me, is the main character. She's my most valuable player.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And what can you tell us about the third book in the trilogy, if anything?
The third one I'm especially proud of. I'm just doing the copy edits at the moment. I think it's the best thing I've ever written. It's set in Berlin, so the second one's set in Manchester, the third one's set in Berlin. It's called The UNGRATEFul Dead.
Such a good title. The winner.
Thanks. And it's a bit of a historical fiction, this one, in that it features one character through the decades of Berlin. as well as Joe and Daisy May on their quest. So it's coming next summer, maybe next July. I'm very excited about it.
I cannot wait to read it. And this is the one and only Adam Simcox. Dying Squad, The Generation Killer, and The Ungrateful Dead next year.
The Ungrateful Dead next
Just
year.
absolutely wonderful, mate. It's always a pleasure to see you, brother. It really is.
Thank you.
Take care.
Cheers.
If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.